Hey everyone, Michael back at you on the Archangel 15, bringing you a presentation today on psychic phenomenon, or PSY as it's known for short. I recently mentioned that I'm going to be scaling back or taking a break from my channel for a while. There's various reasons for this, mainly due to censorship and geopolitical reasons. My channel from its inception has been very deeply suppressed. I'm very thankful for my new viewership, but there's other various things that are not being covered in the news media to the full extent that they should be. I'm just going to kind of leave it at that. And other things that are directly involved myself and my family that I pray will be brought to the light of day. I truly believe that in the end, truth and good will defeat lies and evil. I'm just going to, like I said, stop there. This is sort of an open-ended dialogue into a deeper quandary of, like I said, this psychic phenomenon or what have you. I'm not really like going. I'm going to just implore into it what I know, and maybe perhaps we can attempt to bridge the gap between what's known and what's not known. Maybe if somebody watching this has military intelligence background, maybe works for some type of government, they can you can comment or provide some value to this. I would greatly appreciate that. I truly believe that most people have this divine, deeper connection to human consciousness, and it's various forms of government, various organized religions, various the education system that this really threatens, and they do not want you to know the truth about this. There's various other people other than myself that have many divine gifts. Some people have maybe telepathy. Some people have just outright psychic abilities. Some people have maybe remote influencing abilities. I talked about the ability to influence growth in petri dishes from thousands of miles away. Gets also into astral projection. Really cool, intriguing topic here. And I've definitely noticed that certain ethnicities, certain blood types, and definitely near-death experiencers exude these traits more than others. Uh, Undoubtedly, like I said, like there's various ways that the government and other people basically hinder this or stop you from connecting to this divine esoteric element of our existence. Through various mind control programs, through electro pollution, a really big one, through food, through vaccines, through drugs and alcohol, peer influences, music, you name it. And like one of the reasons I did this, I had a presentation I did on I was at the United States Navy Surface Warfare Center. I talk about how if you go to this area in Bethesda, Maryland, you can totally feel a difference in the electric pollution. Like it almost feels like your head is let out of a vice. It's really significant. I truly encourage you, if you're in the area of Washington D.C., to please go there. And there's no way that you could deny this. Like if you go there and tell me that you don't feel a difference, and I'll say you're crazy, because like I go there and I totally feel a difference. And it's probably like a deep level military industrial complex cult that lives there. You probably couldn't even buy a house there if you wanted to. And I was in between various levels of consciousness almost like in this area. I was on a metro and like kind of almost like in a almost like taking a nap, waiting to get to my destination. And I started thinking like deeper like about this this connection to like the divine. And there's various people who have like been known to have this. Like Edgar Casey was known as the sleeping prophet. He would go into these paralytic trances, kind of where your brain goes into like a gamma wave state of mind. And he did like a whole series of like he was famous, these world affairs readings, it was called, where he was able to like predict events that would like come true like a prophet. Other people like Nostradamus that did it. And it's like it makes you really wonder like what is the explanation for this. Nikola Tesla supposedly had connection to this what's known as the Dark Knight satellite. Maybe it gets into this angels, fallen angels. Uh, who I don't really think there is a right answer. I think maybe it's a combination of things, and maybe it gets deeper into an element of physics or what have you. I'm going to stop here and say that if you're interested in this topic, please check out my presentation on the Akashic Record. Like you really almost should watch that one before you watch this one. Akashic Record gets into like the deeper element of like how like just certain like music certain frequencies really attune you to being able to attain this deeper element of a mystery, I guess you could say. Also, like, it kind of gets into enlightenment as well. I have another presentation on what is time, really interesting, and kind of connects into like the ABRH negative bloodline. Like I said, there's certain like uh, ethnicities that have this, or aliens, or what have you. I come from my mother's side of the family is AB. Both her parents had AB negative blood type. I have B blood type, which is like reptilian hybrid. Jesus, on the Shroud of Turin, they found that he had AB negative blood. It's like 0.06, like less than 1% of the human population has this alien blood type, and there's like really, really deep, interesting phenomenon. Many famous people had this blood type as well. It's like I said, if you're into the whole alien thing, definitely check it out. Ultimately, I was searching for a deeper answer, and like I said, I wanted to know: is it one thing, or is it a combination of things? This is what I essentially came up with. My first instinct basically took me to certain minds, like are just gifted minds, and have the ability to essentially extrapolate information, almost like put it into an accelerator and take the things that they know and take the things that are unknown, and like I said, bridge the gap between the two. I truly believe, like I said, with a combination of our reptilian hybrid genetics and also my many, many near-death experiences, that it has like unlocked deeper pathways than most people. Also, just not buying into a lot of the propaganda that other people buy into. I've like talked in the past about just how the whole cradle to grave scenario, like they have your entire life planned out for you from beginning to end, like from before you're even born, and they vaccinate you when you're born, and then you're like on a continuum. You're fed knowledge in grade school and all the way up through to college, and then you become a slave to the system, whether you have a choice or not. It's part of just like keeping up with the Joneses. And like I was very fortunate and blessed to grow up in Amish country, and I had seen a different way of life than most people have. In the Amish community, there's very little crime, and like it's just a beautiful way of life. And there's other cultures as well that I've experienced in my world travels that live outside the confines of the box that's provided for you. Just leave it at that. And the band The Doors talked about like supposedly the meaning of the Doors is like what's known and what's unknown. It's like a pathway between the two. A better example is the movie Beetlejuice. I love this example. There's like a Doors scene in the movie Beetlejuice, and it kind of like opens up into different dimensions. And I guess you could almost say it gets into like a different, like unlocking like the understanding of dimensional travel or this time space conundrum. I mean, I don't want to get too deep into physics here. Uh, so everybody can kind of understand like a relative level what I'm talking about. But so that was the first thing. Like I said, just like basically being able to extrapolate this information. The second thing that I came up with was almost like kind of the understanding of the matrix. Like everything is connected through like numbers, symbols, signs, and codes. Essentially, my mother told me about this like many years ago. But like almost like everything is on a pattern or a perpetual timeline of sorts. Like it's everything is connected from like the past, connects to the present, connects to the future, back to the past, and like it's like almost like everything's reoccurring. Maybe not even in this world, maybe in another world, and you're like astral projecting something that's already happened in another world or something like this. It's like a sequence, kind of like the basis for artificial intelligence, or like I said, a deeper understanding of the matrix. Like at one point, like this was like really cutting edge and really really cool. I'm going to talk more about this later on, but like it's it doesn't really interest me as much anymore. Basically, everything, as far as we know, all of human consciousness evolved from a singularity, and like as more ideas expand, so does the matrix with it. But it all like eventually connects back to one single point in time. The third is a deeper connection to this like pure psychic phenomenon. Like maybe it's just something that's like unexplainable, or like a completely almost not meant for us not to really know the true meaning of it. Like magnetism, or a better term is like enlightenment. I know a lot of people are really big into this. Almost like we directly gonna get the magnetism through like direct rays of the sunlight, like almost like a beam to us or something like that. Fourth explanation I came up with was like a spiritual like element of consciousness, almost like reincarnation. There's a movie, The Sixth Sense. Those kids like I see dead people. like maybe like almost, I don't want to say like spirits talk to you, but maybe like almost like this, like when you get this like this esoteric information, it's like you're like connecting to spiritual voids and like that are deceased or something like that. And I know this may sound crazy to some people, but definitely like there's a lot more truth to it than that a lot of people want you to know about. Maybe it's like deeper embedded into our genetic DNA coding of sorts, or almost like sexual, kind of gets into the caudasis and like this is the spinning of the double helixes. It's really really intriguing. Um, I must also mention, like I said, about the work of Dr. Bruce Grayson, how I had a defining moment in my life in 2015 coming across the work of the International Association of Near-Death Studies and Dr. Bruce Grayson. He has a legendary work that he did. One of my favorite presentations of his is Consciousness Independent of the Brain, where he talks about people who sustained severe brain trauma and like were able to come back speaking other languages, playing the piano, or had like this information or like talked as if they were somebody else from a past life. Like really, really, really intriguing. Definitely reincarnation is real in my opinion. And like I said, the first thing that this did for me was challenge many of my preconceived Christian beliefs. You start talking to a lot of Christian people about reincarnation. They say, no, don't go there. It's not real. But like it really is. And then like kind of gets deeper into collective consciousness and other things as well. And then after all of this, I almost pretty much concluded that it's essentially a combination of like a deeper element of physics, like particularly magnetism, and it's also like a like it kind of almost has to do with like manifestation of thoughts, like almost like you can like notice with the cloud formations, like, oh, okay, so like I wondered, like I can almost like say, okay, you're gonna see this, this, and this, and is it that I know ahead of time, like I'm a psychic, that it's going to occur, like what's going to happen, like show up, or is it that I manifest it? Like I almost believe that like certain people have the ability to like manifest thoughts into action or something like this. I've connected like some of the cloud formations and other things connect like 90 matrices all together, like 90 different things connect into like one thing. And typically when that happens, I've noticed that like it's like a paradigm, or like something big is about to happen, or like it's like a bigger there's probably like a better word for it, but it's like a deeper connection, I guess you could say. I could walk around almost all day with a tablet and just write things down, like this connects to that connects to this, and you can like basically take it and extrapolate it into the future, which kind of takes me back to my first thing. I really do believe a lot of it is just like the work of certain minds able to extrapolate information. They say that the human brain is like, most people are only able to unlock like 10% of their mind. So if you were able to unlock 20% of your mind, you would unlock 100% more than others. And like I said, it's really, really, really intriguing. Uh, but also there's this thing called thousand monkey syndrome. It's kind of intriguing. It kind of ties into this woman, Alanka Harizi, the same person that was friends with Andrea Puharich. She did some work where she talks about like they take monkeys on different islands, and like one monkey on one island, or like one group of monkeys will start doing one thing, and then like other monkeys on a completely remote island will start doing like the same exact thing, because it gets deeper into the collective consciousness. Really, really interesting there. And I truly believe that this is a gift that can be used for good or for evil. Like the Bible talks about the angels, the fallen angels, the Nephilim. Now God will eventually cast the fallen angels into the lake of fire. And the people that use this for nefarious ways, they know this. And I truly, like I said, I'm thankful for the gifts that I have. Unfortunately, I've done like a lot of work connecting matrices, and like basically equated that almost all the evil in the world is like the working of the government and global elites that like are the ones behind stealing kids. They bring the drugs in. They're creating wars. They're creating like this disharmony. Maybe part of it is to create current in the world, news feed, jobs for people, whatever. But like I said, back to like the Amish, like it's just like there's like a way better way of life that God intended for all of us to live without all this nonsense and drama. And like I guess population control plays into it. But there's a movie, The Men Hysteric Goats, where like they actually have people that like evolved these abilities into like they've actually supposedly been able to stop a goat's heart by staring at it or something like that. My all-time favorite is The Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal Lecter. I actually am like right on the level of him. Like I could pretty much tell you the answer to anything that you wanted to know, either just right off the bat tell you, or through my using an alchemy book or alchemy games or various other methods that I've, like I said, finally honed and evolved over various years. And it's really, really intriguing. The more and more, like I said, I implore into this, the more I know about it, it's like the more I don't know about it. But there's infinite uses, and you could use it for like maybe gambling, maybe the stock market. But I can surely tell you that like the government would eventually find out that you were doing this, and they would target you and either attempt to like basically infiltrate you, or kill you, or at least poison you, like or something like that. Like they do not want you knowing knowing everything, or like being able to tap into this. And there's other things as well, like wearing certain colors can allow you to like channel certain energy, certain gemstones or metals as well, like certain places on Earth. What's interesting, I talked to Solanka Harizi about this. About like I've never been to Egypt. I asked her. She's done like scientific experiments at the pyramids of Giza, actually like taking electronic scientific testing equipment, and supposedly the pyramid of Giza is a tetrahedron above ground and below ground. It's like a diamond. There's like a pyramid above ground and one below ground. Most people don't know this. And she said it channels energy both ways. That like if you go there with a positive frame of mind, you'll channel positive energy. But if you go there with a negative energy, you'll channel negative energy. And I found this to be really, really interesting. It's definitely a lot of truth to it. Also, food and dietary. Like if you eat a lot, drink a lot of like soda or stuff with like artificial sugars, it clogs up your neurological pathways. If you use I don't use deodorant, or like toothpaste with fluoride in it. It goes on and on and on. I'm not going to get into that too much. Alcohol, maybe some people like think that alcohol helps them with this a little bit, and I think like a lot of the magic with alcohol is a solvent. I think it like opens up your neurological pathways, but then eventually it'll dry out your brain, and it's like it does a hindrance. So it's like it does good at first, but then it eventually does bad. And like I said, maybe this is just not meant to be toiled with. Maybe this is, like I said, like a certain element of like almost like faith, or like the mysterium, or like just quantum, I guess you could say. That like it's like maybe like I said, like it's better to like kind of just leave it to a certain element of mystery. Definitely, there's certain people, ethnicities, like I said, that exude more of these traits than others. Asian people, particularly Russians, which have a lot of Asian background. Muslims, which also kind of tie into the Asian thing. If you look at the Silk Road, kind of ties that whole area together. Nordic, Celtic people, maybe like they call them like Druids, people from like Ireland that have red hair. Definitely the rhesus negatives, or like aliens. I mentioned, like I said, I have a B positive, which is like reptilian hybrid blood type. Please watch my presentation on the ABRH negative bloodline. Jewish people definitely have certain traits as well. The near-death experiences, like in my case, they wanted to like deny, like a lot of doctors will like write off the whole thing with the near-death experiences as like it's the workings of a brain deprived of oxygen, but it's not. It's like truly, purely a gift. I can tell you that like when you pass through death's doorway and you come back, it profoundly changes your perception of time, and like it just like you look at things totally differently. And like almost some people, like their biological, they look completely different. Like I could show you pictures of myself before and after, other things as well. Really, really interesting. Like I said, please look up International Association of Near-Death Studies, and also, like I said, Dr. Bruce Grayson's Consciousness Independent of the Brain video. Especially if you've had near-death experiences. People who work in the maritime field, or like spend a lot of time in the ocean. Maybe it's from being in the sunlight, or maybe it's like the waves of the ocean, or the electrolytes from the salt water. Definitely something to it. Also, people who are shamans, like self-proclaimed shamanic people, or shamanic healers, whatever. Some of them are African, some of them Native American, various ones. This also gets into like the occult. Ted Gunderson, his legendary work. Like when I talked about the Finders, how like a lot of this they go around stealing these kids, and he tried to bring this information to the Department of Justice, and it's like classified under national security for many years. He tried with like the work of senators, and it's like really a creepy group of people that are behind it, like basically the CIA, Satanists, and they like do these satanic rituals where they kill people, and they like stand in a circle around the people they kill, and like the goal is to like basically steal the soul of the person that they're like killing, and like there's like certain people like they want like the purest of people that they can like basically obtain for these satanic rituals. People who use certain drugs and alcohol, like I mentioned, Andrea Puharich did a lot of work on this. It's kind of interesting. Definitely something to the drugs and alcohol. Spiritual element, like the mushrooms is a big one. And people of spiritual faith, maybe like rabbis, maybe priests, other, like I said, Muslim people, people of the Muslim faith as well, and just other intellects, maybe people, like I said, who have a lot of intellectual upbringing in their background, or like they're very intelligent or come from very good genetics. Like I said, they just have a deep analytical mind and the ability to essentially extrapolate information. Like it's just an intriguing topic. So it never really ends. This is like not this short presentation is not going to cover this full magnitude of everything that I could talk about here, but at least it starts an open-ended dialogue. And like I would like your opinion. Like you tell me what is the answer for this? Is it a combination of things? Is it one thing over the other? But definitely, like I said, if you're interested in this topic, watch the Akashic Record, videos on consciousness, and I have one on the Wizard of Oz where like it connects the matrices together, and like that one is really really interesting. Where like talk about the Wizard of Oz, play with the dark side of the moon, and like the whole like undertones of nuclear warfare in it, and like I truly believe at the end of the day that God like we have angels that walk among the earth, and that they're very very deeply suppressed. They steal a lot of them from as a newborns, or kill them off, or like I said, just like basically inhibit these people, and these people maybe are meant to like control the ebb and flow of time for humanity, and like they know this, and this is why, like I said, these people like myself stay very very deeply suppressed. uh, Thank you for your time as always on the Archangel 15. In the future, I look forward to bringing you some of my cloud manifestation videos in real time. I've already have one posted, and really really cool. Like I said, it gets deeper into physics, and look forward to bringing those to you. Thank you. Take care, folks. God bless.